All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey everybody, and
Yeah, you're good.
hey everybody, and welcome to Show and Tell. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada. We're here at the Ada Food Factory. We do all our testing and shipping and manufacturing, kitting and coding and videoing and more. But enough about us. The next 25-ish minutes, we're going to check in with people from around the Adafruit community, some Adafruit peeps and
Makerverse.
friends of the fruit. All are welcome. Go by Discord to get the link. All you need is a video camera. And honestly, you don't really need much more than that. Maybe hold up something. We'll chat about it. We'll make some funny jokes. But let's kick it off. First up is Kevin W.
Welcome back, Kevin. You've been globe trotting. You were in Maker Faire, weren't you? And all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were at the Raspberry Pi reseller, and then also a couple weeks later at Maker Faire Rome, which was phenomenal.
Right on.
I think they expected about 20 to 30,000 people, and it ended up being, I think, close to 50 by the time.
Oh, cool. That's a lot of people.
Sounds like the first Maker Faire in the Bay Area. We're like, oh, maybe like 20,000 people show up. And
it was massive.
Yeah. I think everybody was just anxious to get out there and see technology and talk to people and touch things. And, we actually had a kid like physically lick a Neo Trellis board. So that was fun. But it was all good. It was a really good time. Me and David looked at each other like, which one of us is the one taking that one home?
This does not contain any minerals or nutrients that are essential to life. So
right. So I do have to say a Neo Trellis actually holds up really well to being dipped in hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, nice work.
Yes, we designed it that way. Really.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of events, tomorrow morning I'm taking off to another event that Phil, I know you're quite familiar with, is Hackaday SuperCon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I this afternoon I was like, I'm going to SuperCon. I know they have badge hacking, but we're working on a fun project with you guys. So I decided to make my own little badge using PiLead.
Oh yeah!
Yay! That's Liz's guide.
Yes, it is so easy. Like it was literally minutes to do this.
Yeah. And you can change it throughout the day. You can have other messages. You can put a QR code on it. There's lots of things you can do.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. You guys did a phenomenal job on it. Yeah, the QR code is pretty cool. So I have that set up to go to the DigiKey website, actually Maker.io website. So yeah, this is such a fun project. And it, like I said, it was so easy. I love the clue board. You're hanging the clue upside down, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And
it works either way.
It's got my Twitter handle, my first and last name, and then DigiKey on it. I know the camera isn't great, so you can't really see.
No, you can see the Kevin for sure.
You have to add Mastodon.
That's all that matters. Just if you can call me Kevin, I'm good.
It's neat. Jay came by and was showing some of the robot that Jay was working on, and then we sent off some of the lanyards. We're a media sponsor for Hackaday SuperCon. I know DigiKey's doing stuff with Hackaday. I have nothing to do with Hackaday anymore. I was a founder, but I think it's great that a company like DigiKey jumps into the community, does stuff with not only the contest, but the event, and been supporting it for, from the Hackaday prize to everything else. It's really good to see that. So thank all the higher ups who signed the checks, and maybe it's you, but
I definitely will. We love being a part of it. The Hackaday prize is, it's all for bettering the world, and there's some really cool prize or contests out there. So we love being a part of it. Love being part of Hackaday, and then any chance we get to show off some cool Adafruit parts and talk about you guys is, we're all in.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And folks, if you want to support DigiKey doing cool stuff like this, buy some Adafruit stuff from DigiKey. But let them know that you like seeing companies like DigiKey at events that you like to participate in.
Right. So really quick story. I know I don't have much time here.
Yeah, you're fine.
Maker Faire Rome. We shipped a whole bunch of stuff to have a really cool booth, a cool setup. The day before I left, I found out our stuff was stuck in customs.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I think we'll be able to get it out, but just in case, I came into my office and I took everything I had, which is like 85% Adafruit. And that's what we ended up having. We bought table covers at a local, I don't even know what it was called.
Oh, God, that's terrible that customs did that to you.
So we never got our stuff. It did come back, so we got it back home. But
took a nice trip around the world.
Adafruit spread at the show, and it
was fantastic. Well, now that NeoPixel, it's seen a lot.
When Lamore and I were running a booth at Maker Faire, when we had like a table, or I think one time it was also Hope. We had to go local and buy like some of the stuff we needed didn't didn't arrive, so we need to get like extension cords or whatever. So that's cool that you're able to cobble together a full experience with just the stuff you had.
Yeah, it was pretty good because one of our executives was actually there, and he said, if you wouldn't have told me you lost your stuff, I would have never known. And I'm like, I'm going to call that a success. You know?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, great.
Yeah. You know what's nice? This is, I'm going to bounce is so back in the day when we had to do a lot of projects with compiled code or like trying to change things, it was impossible because the code that's on the microcontroller has been sitting there forever. And if you plug it into a computer, it's like, oh no, the latest ID and everything.
It was always a pain.
It was impossible. And
your laptop, you never had good internet, and so you couldn't download libraries. And
so for folks who have to like on the go do a lot of things from cosplaying to showing some of the stuff off in person, it's really nice just being able to plug in a device, edit the code on the device, and then you're like, oh, I can update my demos and not have to like, oh no, the cloud tool chain is down. Oh no,
right.
That's actually worse than getting.
Yeah, so we actually had to do that. So one of the Neo trellises, it's set up. We had it set up with 4 different sounds, and one of them I thought it'd be funny to put a crow sound on there, and I had to change it after the first few hours. I could not stand there and listen to that crow.
Yeah, it's like the kid toys. They're just like eventually you're like, I have to change this.
Yeah, so like you said, you take out your laptop. It takes 10 seconds to plug it in, download a quick sound bite, and
just drag the file over.
Yep.
All right. Well, very good to see
you guys.
Yeah, good to see you, Kevin. And just on a side note, for folks who watch, we'll be talking about this tonight. If you've been watching the shows, so we're announcing that AdaBox is returning 2023. So that's our big news. We'll talk about it on Ask an Engineer, but we're finally able to get enough of everything. Special thanks to DigiKey for helping us out all through the last 3 years of this nonsense, but it looks like AdaBox is returning in full force.
We're finally getting parts in.
We'll talk about
DigiKey's a big part of that. I know you guys.
Yeah, we're all riding this wave.
Yep.
I'm sure it's a party at the warehouse. It must be like nonstop shipping.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, so you heard it here first, and then we'll talk about it.
And I'm getting 3 shipment orders a day. I'm like, oh my god, everything is flooding in.
Things are starting to happen again.
Yeah, it's good. Good to see.
All right.
Great seeing you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Evan.
Take care.
All right. So next up, we're gonna go to Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey,
I'm good. I just wanted to share my latest keyboard project with y'all. It is a Neo trellis, but instead of pressing the buttons, it works by licking.
Gee.
Perfect for events.
About how you sterilize it with isopropyl alcohol between uses, just for personal safety.
Yeah.
But actually, I did do a real keyboard project, and excuse me while I lift this thing up, because this is a chunky boy. This is the original keyboard of the IBM PC.
Wow!
And I've created some code with CircuitPython and a little simple circuit here, 2 resistors and 6 wires, so that you can use it on your modern computer. So I don't know. Check that out. This is what I'm here to say.
It's made of the same metal as payphones. Is that indestructible?
So, yeah, this is built like a beast. There's a metal plate inside. The whole case, I think, is metal.
Yeah,
and it just has that great classic sound of the model.
That is. There's nothing quite like it. Even the new keys, you actually need that resonant cavity, made out of steel,
made out of lead.
So to do this, you use the PIO interface of the RP2040. It's not serial. It's not PS2. What is it?
Yeah, there's a signal with a clock and a data line, but it's just a little bit different than anything else. They actually used, I think it's an 8042 microcontroller in the keyboard to send in, and then in the PC there was a dedicated chip that understood how to receive and process it. But yeah, we're doing it with the QT Py RP2040 in this case, this little individual right here, and with the PIO peripheral, and you just read it and you get 10 bits back, and 7 of them is the key and 1 is whether it's pressed or released, and you convert that over to
and
HID
there's no polling.
Computer.
You can't send data. You just get data.
No, there's no, in this keyboard they didn't have the status LEDs yet.
There's no LEDs.
Caps lock light, there's no num lock light, and the communication was strictly one directional into the PC. With the AT keyboard, I think, is when they added the status LEDs. I'm not 100% sure of that.
All right, what's your next keyboard?
What's my next keyboard? So I'm No, you're not going to get me like that. So you had me pick up this keyboard for Atari.
Oh yeah.
And they have a little interesting way to do their key matrix where they only use 8 pins where anybody else would have used 16. And that's interesting. And I'm going to try that one with the new coproc or coprocessor module on the ESP32S3, because I think it'll A, give me a chance to kick the tires, and B, it doesn't really work with PIO. It needs a more complex program. So
really,
I'm using that as a way to learn this new facility, and we'll see how that works. And
okay.
That's the guide that I plan to do after this on keyboards. But we talked about we're going to do some other guides. Not
That's a couple little things in between. Do you have that keyboard? I just want to show it.
I do not have it right in front of me. So
okay, well, people can Google
talk
it.
About it another time soon.
It has, what is it? Is it the help button that's like really weird?
It's got a help button. Yeah, it's got this button that's like yay big, and it's got help written on an angle. I will share some pictures in Discord because this is a cool old home video game / computer console that was too late and was never successful. But
so, the keyboard that's so weird.
Yeah,
and the keyboard feels so bad. It's like typing on a marshland.
Yeah, there's a lot of keyboards that it's like the Galapagos Island, like Survivor of like it evolved on this island and that was it, and it's like, well,
there's no that's the end of the tree, right?
Yeah, I mean this has a billion descendants. But not.
Yeah, that goes to the AT and then PS2 and then USB. I mean,
a lot of these are like too weird to survive, too weird to go away.
Too weird to reproduce on, to not pass on.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jeff.
All right, and I'll keep working on the lickable Neo Trellis, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Please get on that.
Liz, what you got going on this week?
Hey, how's it going? Let me switch my camera. This week I was working on an HTTP server with CircuitPython on a Pico W. So the Pico W is running CircuitPython code that serves up this HTML web page through an F string. And then with that, you can use the DS18B20 temp sensor to show data on the screen. And then these buttons send HTTP post requests. And so the LED is for the onboard LED. So if I press...
cow.
Yes.
Turn it on. Turn it on now.
So that's LED on.
Okay, wait, what's party?
And party, I had to make party parrots.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can press the
this
party
is what
again.
a cow's digestive tract looks like.
Yes.
One of its stomachs.
Anatomically to scale and everything.
Inside a cow is a party parrot. That's what actually does the digestion.
That's what chews the cud.
Yeah.
And it's using the Pi Cowbell breakout board, and you can access the reset button on the side here. If you have a pen, you can poke it right there to reset if you need to. And if I turn that off, on the screen normally shows your SSID, your IP address, and in the CircuitPython code, you also set a static IP address for it, and it also shows the temp sensor on screen.
And then on the little web server it shows.
I know, it's cute. Cool. It's cute.
Yeah, so I hope this will be a good demo for folks. Guide I just wrapped up tonight, so I'll get it into review so folks can.
I like the color theme. It's like you're like, look, I can't, it's hosted on the Pico W, so you can't like do a lot of graphics, but it's like you got the pink text and you got like the buttons.
Yeah, and I tried to show folks a little bit with the CSS styling you can do to call out the colors and the font.
Yeah,
I think it looks great.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's got that nice.
Great work,
space.
Liz. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Aaron, what you got going on this week? Oh, there you go. Now you're here.
So I just launched a tutorial about how to make costumes that won't break if you take them into harsh environments. So I want to just share my screen here for a minute, and let's see. This is my light up mermaid tail, which I'm wearing in a saltwater mermaid tank. And basically, the tutorial is kind of about how to make lickable projects, I assume. Yeah. I can lick this all I want.
That's the theme.
Yeah.
So my microcontroller is, I'm using a Cutie Pie in here, and it's inside this GoPro case, which I just drilled a hole in and put a cable gland so that the whole thing is actually submersible, and it all just fits in there with a battery and a little charger and everything. And then I have a waterproof connector on here, which leads to the actual LEDs. Whoops. Let's see if I can get the top of it here. They're sewn onto just a piece of scuba fabric that I can wear underneath the mermaid tail that I'm wearing. So I can actually change different tail skins out. I can make it look different ways. I can do custom tail skins. And it's using these LED dots, which are super cool because they're real flexible. They're very hard to break, and they work underwater, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're IP68 rated or anything like that, but they're the best LEDs I've ever found for harsh environments. So if you're making a Burning Man coat, or something that you want to take to the playa or the desert, or something that you're going to put on your kids and they're just going to roll around in the dirt in, this tutorial is going to show you how to do that and still have a lot of success with your project.
What's cool is if you can make something that works in a salt pond underwater, then definitely can survive like Burning Man or a museum exhibit.
Right. Or it'll just last a lot longer. So
yeah, good tips and tricks.
This is great. We'll be showing a couple of your videos tonight, including this one. This is really neat. I don't think I've seen any online resources or anything in like the electronics world that had something like this. So fantastic.
I've actually never seen underwater LEDs before. This is
it's just really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
There's people who probably have had to do it, but they're like James Cameron and
no, they just fake it with CGI. They don't even do practical effects anymore. This is actually, this is
for like a utility where you actually have to have LEDs underwater. So this is super cool. This is like the neatest thing. If the ocean levels continue to rise and Burning Man's underwater, this is the best guy.
Waterman.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Aaron.
We're gonna get accused that this is like an ad for Avatar too. Okay.
It is.
All right. It is.
Thank you, James Cameron.
All right. Bye, Aaron.
Bye.
Okay, next up we're going to go to Paul, and then we'll wrap up with DJ Devin.
Paul,
what's going on?
Good to see you again.
Got a new episode of the podcast out this week, and it's one that I'm really proud of. I drove 2 hours east to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and inside of a park, there are 3 CircuitPython-powered trolls for children to play with.
Whoa.
They have about 20 panels on each troll. And if you go to, I'll link to YouTube where I've got some pictures of it too with the podcast. But let's say there's 20 panels on there, and out of the 26 will react, and they'll play sounds, they'll light up the eyes. It's just really cool. And if you go there in the summer, kids are just swarming, and kids will show which panel to press, and it's really neat.
Oh, neat.
So even if you don't listen to the podcast, this one is a really neat episode to hear how it was concepted. They used a Circuit Playground Express. Jason Pecor was the guest who explained all this, and then just built it from there in partnership with a couple other companies.
Outstanding. Yeah, one of the things when we were first working on how Python might work on microcontrollers, we're like, artists, exhibit museums, anyone who has to do hands-on things with kids, they're going to love this. And we're just like, just got to wait. And then now you're starting to visit it. What's cool is there'll probably be a world tour one could do of all the places where people are using CircuitPython for these type of public interactive exhibits and more.
Hey, and if anyone out there has built one, reach out to me. Love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah. I think the other neat thing is, unlike the black box style of building stuff, I think when you build it with CircuitPython, you're also building in, hey, I want people to see this and learn from it. There's a lot of cool installations. And I remember a long time ago when I was working on stuff like that, every single one of them was unique. And once it broke, it's over because you couldn't find the original people who did it. You couldn't get the code off of it. It's the end. And it's like, that's why, especially children's museums, they've struggled a lot with installations and how to maintain them. So I think that'll be kind of neat. So that's coming up this week. It's out right now.
It's out. Came out Monday.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, you met with Jason, and folks can go to the URL is the CircuitPython Show.
Yep. .com.
All right. Thanks so much, Paul.
River Prairie Trolls. All right, check that out. All right. Thanks, Paul.
It's the only time you're allowed to feed the trolls.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, DJ Devin, play us out.
Hello. This is my Halloween Dragon Skull project, and I'm speaking to you, and I'm like inside the masks.
Yeah, it works.
There's no room.
Yeah.
I have stuffed this full of 4 microcontrollers, 2 NeoPixel rings, 5 nudes, and the LCD eyes, which is running Tybot's code.
Yeah.
And they even go up into the horns. So this was
Yeah.
what I wore just to hand out Halloween, just to hand out candy this Halloween.
Yeah, it's also the new Oculus 3 coming out. for
Did
people.
did the kids like it when you opened the door?
It depends on the age.
Yeah.
A lot of the little ones I scared one so bad she dropped her bucket. I felt bad about that.
Yeah, that
The
happens.
teenagers loved it. There are two girl foxes who wanted a photo with me because they thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
And one kid asked to keep my scepter, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I made
build your
that.
own.
So
I
yeah,
can't do that. You
I
gotta
could make another. Yeah, but it's got my my S3 on there, which I didn't want to lose.
No, you gotta need that. All right. Well,
Yep.
unfortunate for the young kid, but on the other hand, it is trick or treat.
It's Halloween, and the parents were there, and they were saying it's all good. So
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You have one day a year
it
where you're
kind
allowed
of
to-
is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is absolutely.
exchange for candy.
I get 1 year or
Yeah.
1 day a year to scare kids, and I'm gonna take it.
Absolutely. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, TJ.
Well,
Outstanding costume.
Phil B should watch this because
Yeah, we'll send a link to our resident dragon expert.
This is an amazing dragon costume. Good work, DJ Devin.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Excellent.
Glad you got it done in time too.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. That was Show and Tell for the week. We're here every single week, 7:30 p.m. Thank you for making this the best half an hour of our week. Every single week, we'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer in just a few minutes. Bye, everybody.